Hey users, welcome to our third video about anti-VM techniques. Today, we'll have a look at the hardware feature which can allow us to detect whether we're in a VM, the storage device space. Let's directly dive into it. The hard drive is a device used for storing or managing data. The techniques we'll be presenting use one of the most important features of a hard drive, its storage capacity. Over the year, the hard drive size increased quite fast. In the 80s and 90s, we only had hard drive with just 5 to 20 GB of storage. We now have some with more than 1 TB of storage. A malware can use this information to determine if it's running in a virtual machine. As said earlier, the standard storage size has increased a lot, meaning that having a storage size under a certain threshold is quite strange. But when creating a VM, we need to allocate a part of a hard drive storage for its use, so it can be as big as what we have on our computer. Indeed, why should we use a huge amount of storage in a VM which we'll be only using to run malware? That is exactly what this technique is based on, retrieving the size of the hard drive and comparing it with a standard size to see if it's smaller. But how are we going to retrieve this information? Using a Windows API function. On Windows, it's the easiest way. We'll see two techniques using this feature. The function we'll be using is GetDiskFreeSpaceExA. Firstly, we'll be checking the total size of the storage by using the argument LP total number of bytes. This argument will be compared with a chosen value to test whether we are in a VM. As explained, a malware can use this and see the total size of the hard drive. If the storage size is superior to 256 GB, it is unlikely that we are running a VM. On the other hand, when running in a VM, the hard drive will be a part of the host hard drive, meaning that the size will be smaller than in a regular hard drive. The virus just need to check on this and test with an arbitrary value, let's say 30 GB, just enough to have the operating systems as well as some file. If the storage is smaller than the arbitrary value, then the virus will think it's running in a VM and go dormant. If not, then it might think it isn't and continue its normal behavior. Let's see the second technique. We are still using a function from the Windows API. We are even using the exact same function, but this time with a different argument. While watching the storage size is a good idea, it is best when combined with another technique, checking the free space. We just use the argument LP total number of free bytes to check the remaining free storage. So, why does this technique work? It's simple. On a physical machine, the hard drive will be sufficiently big, meaning that even if you have many files or applications in storage, there will still be enough space. If the storage size is 512 GB, then 30% of the total space is still at least 150 GB. If a virus checks the free disk space, he will see that the remaining space is sufficiently big to prove that it is running in a physical computer. Now let's take the example of a VM. The malware will do the same thing, but this time it will not watch the hard drive, but the virtualized one. However, this one is clearly smaller than the physical one. So if the remaining space is 30% of the total, the virus will get at most 20 GB, which is clearly inferior to any free space in most physical computers. The malware is then gonna decide if it's going to continue its normal behavior or just go dormant. This is the first technique we saw using Windows API, but there will be more. Thanks for listening, and I hope you keep following us in this journey.